Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I will go through some of the important vocabulary which you might come across when participating in dominance. If you are fairly new to dominance, I figured it would be helpful for you to familiarize yourself with some of these vocabularies that people in dominance would often use, so you can communicate better with your flight's dominance team. So if you'd like to learn more about these vocabularies, then let's jump straight into this video. So first of all, we have Dom. Dom is short for dominance, and you may refer to my video on dominance for a brief overview of what Dom is. Next, we have Dom lead. Dom lead is short for dominance leader, and each flight will have its own group of Dom leads, and these are the users who basically organize everything and are mostly in charge of a flight's dominance efforts. Then we have bank. A bank basically refers to your flight's dominance bank. The Dom bank is used to fund various Dom-related activities, and these might include buying level 25 dragons to help newbies get into dominance, buying apparel for skin or raffle prizes during Dom, etc. And all of these bank funds are usually held by one of the Dom leads. Next, we have T and G. T is short for treasure, while G is short for gems. So for example, if you see someone on a form say 6KT, they basically mean 6,000 treasure. Treasure is the site currency for flight rising, while gems are the premium currency. Next, we have push. Push is basically when your flight is actively climbing the dominance leaderboard, and pushes can be divided into four main categories. The first is a placing push. A placing push has the goal of climbing the leaderboard, and profit is not a concern when placing pushes are concerned, and placing pushes are actually often done at a detriment to the flight's bank. Next, we have a profit push. A profit push is basically the opposite of a placing push, because the purpose of a profit push is to maximize profit. And while the flight might still place high on the leaderboard due to actively exalting dragons, the main purpose of the profit push is basically just to maximize profit and to restock your bank's funds. The third, we have placing profit push. This is basically the middle ground between a placing and a profit push. So in a placing profit push, while the goal is still to climb as high on the leaderboard as possible, unlike a full-on placing push, this will not be done at the expense of profit. So you won't break the bank trying to do a placing profit push. Finally, we have a festival push, and a festival push usually happens once per month, and it is often done the week prior to a flight's elemental holiday, so that they can be the dominating flight during their own elemental holiday. It is usually good faith and basically good dominance etiquette to let flights have their dominance during their own elemental holidays. To my knowledge, there is only one instance of another flight accidentally taking dominance from another flight during their elemental holiday, and I think that they still get shit for it. Okay, so after we have all the different types of pushes out of the way, the next we have Collie. Collie is basically short for Coliseum, and the Coliseum is where you fight monsters to train and level up your dragons. Next, we have fodder. Fodder are basically dragons that are bought for the sole purpose of being trained and exalted. Depending on the type of push, training the dragons to certain levels may be more beneficial. So for example, in a profit push, it might be more profitable to train fodder to level 7 because you can maximize your profit that way. However, in a placing push, it would be more beneficial to exalt dragons at level 5, sometimes even as low as level 3 or 4, because that would maximize the number of points you can earn in the shortest period of time, even though you are often doing this at a loss in terms of treasure or gems. So next we have trainer. Trainer is basically refers to the dragon used to train fodder. These will often be level 25 dragons, which is the maximum level dragons can be on flight rising. Next, we have stats and stones. Stats is short for statistics, and it refers to a dragon's passive attributes, which you can level up in the Coliseum. Stones are short for battle stones, and these are equipable items that you can put on dragons to give them active abilities that they can use during battle. So if you hear someone say that their dragon is fully stoned, it doesn't mean that their dragon has been hitting the pipe. It means that they have fully equipped their dragons with battle stones. So next we have build. This basically refers to the type of trainer dragon, which is often specialized for different Coliseum venues based on their stats and stones. There are many different types of trainer dragons, and I will make another video going in more depth into the different types of builds. But just to give you an example, my trainer dragon Liam is a Mire Flyer, which is a build that specializes him to train fodder in the mire. I don't really use him properly, however, and instead I choose to use him in the Ghost Light Runes instead, because I find that he's a lot more consistent in there. And next we have exalt. Exalt is basically the act of exalting a dragon for dominance points and treasures. Exalting dragons are a permanent action and cannot be undone unless under very specific circumstances, and this is also sometimes referred to as yeeting. Next we have rollover. Rollover basically refers to the daily 30-minute period where flight rising performs maintenance and no site action can be taken. It is important to perform all important site actions before rollover, as you cannot do so during the rollover period. Next we have hatchie. Hatchie is basically short for hatchling. When dragons are born, they are in their hatchling state and will only turn into full-fledged adult dragons after 5 days. Hatchlings cannot be trained in a Coliseum, and thus they can only be exalted as level 1 dragons. Next, we have rollover hatchie. This basically refers to hatchlings that will turn into adult dragons after the next rollover. This may be important, as if you have hatchies that will turn into a dragon before the week is over, this means that there's still some time for you to train it in a Coliseum before the push is over. So some flights may even pay more for rollover hatchies when they buy fodder. Next, we have Blitz and Rush. Blitz is basically short for Blitzkrieg, and Rush is short for Zerg Rush. And these usually refer to a short period of time, I think about 20 minutes, when users try to exalt as many low-level dragons as possible. Blitz are usually funded by the bank as well, so the users don't have to take funds out of their own pocket. Other flights might have different names for Blitz and Rushes. Next, we have flipping. Flipping can have two different meanings. In a more general context on flight rising, flipping refers to the act of buying something from the auction house at a lower price and then relisting and selling it for a higher price than you originally bought it for. However, in terms of dominance, flipping refers to when a flight exchanges places with another flight on the leaderboard. So for example, if Fire was on top of the leaderboard, but then Shadow overtakes Fire when the leaderboard updates, then the Shadow flight has basically flipped the Fire flight. Next, we have two acronyms, OOF and IF. OOF is short for out of flight, while IF is short for in flight. These will often be used in reference to certain flight activities. So for example, if the Arcane flight has an activity listed as OOF, that means that only users outside of Arcane can participate in the activity. Inversely, if the Arcane flight has an activity listed as IF, then it means that only Arcane users are permitted to join. And finally, if an activity is listed as both OOF and IF, that means that anyone on the site can participate. Next, we have raffle. Raffles are usually an out-of-flight activity where a pushing flight will purchase fodder from other flights in order to exalt and climb the leaderboard. Other flights participating can usually win prizes for selling fodder to the pushing flight, which is why they are called raffles. Flights will usually also have an in-flight raffle going alongside the out-of-flight raffle, so be sure to check to make sure you don't participate in the wrong one. Finally, we have fodder. And fodder is basically short for art for fodder. This is similar to raffles, but instead of treasures or prizes such as on-site items, user can sell their fodder in exchange for art instead. And that's basically all the major words I can think of off the top of my head. If you happen to come across any other words that are not listed in this video, then feel free to let me know down in the comment sections down below, and I will do my best to answer them. With that being said, feel free to like and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and I'll be seeing you in the next video, whenever that may be. See ya!